All right, say it with me, Bucks fans. Bucks win, Bucks win, Bucks win, and what a game, what a moment. As you can tell from this, I had some technical issues with my usual camera, so different setup, not the most visually interesting. Apologize about that. But what was interesting was the Buccaneers somehow finding a way to improve to 4-1. The 4-1 Buccaneers beating a good Seattle Seahawks team. Baker Mayfield ends the day with 379 yards on just 33 passing attempts. The Buccaneers give up 5 consecutive touchdown drives defensively and still find a way to win, with Levante David making the play of the game with an interception late. Where to begin with what a game this was? I mean, first off, I think it has to be mentioned, both secondaries very injured in this game, and that's part of how this got to what it was. Tampa Bay's secondary started the game injured. Seattle's secondary got injured as it went along. I thought early on, before like Tariq Woolen and even some backups got hurt for them as well. Seattle, I thought even early on, Tampa Bay's offense was playing well. Just maybe Seattle was kind of battling there, and then once they had the injuries, it was just overmatched. So both teams dominant down the field. Both quarterbacks fantastic, but it came down to one mistake by Darnold, and you feel for Darnold, who had a great game, but you don't feel too bad because we're Bucs fans and we're happy that Tampa Bay was able to ultimately win. Here's where I want to start. Baker Mayfield was magnificent in this game. Only 2 passing touchdowns. There was also 2 rushing touchdowns in there. But the numbers are absurd, and this is one of those scenarios where, despite the absurd numbers, I think it was earned. Like, I think that he earned these absurd numbers. Usually it's like, there's a bad defensive breakdown or 2 in there. And again, there were some injuries for Seattle. But some of these throws that Mayfield was making, and some of these plays that Emeka Egbuka was making, who had 163 of the 379 total yards by Mayfield, it's just unbelievable. And the chemistry that those two guys have. I mean, that downfield post route has become like it's like the Mike Evans goal line fade, right? Like, it's just it's become automatic. It's only happened a couple times, but still, it feels automatic when it happens. It's a beautiful throw. The touchdown was very reminiscent of the touchdown that won the game against the Atlanta Falcons. So much of the stuff is just fantastic. You think about the injuries Tampa Bay has to their offensive line. Cade Otton finally got going in this game. Tez Johnson, a 7th-round pick, was a real player in this. He had 59 yards, including, I think the broadcast called it like the most impressive 6-yard catch you'll ever see. It was a really impressive play, even if it only went for 6 yards. Godwin's still finding his footing, but he still had a couple of key plays in here, and this offense was just a buzzsaw. I mean, it got stopped once in the second half, and that felt like it was going to be the game, right? I was thinking, like, do you go for it 4th and 15? I was a little surprised they didn't try to kick a 59-yard field goal there, but that is tough. I think the logic was, like, 3 isn't going to be enough to win anyway. Let's see if we can pin him deep. I don't know. Offense, fantastic. Got some work to do defensively. Now, I'll say this. Todd Bowles' scheme is built around coverage, and when you have the injuries that they have, no Jamel Dean and no Benjamin Morrison, these kind of games are going to happen sometimes. And I will say, Bowles, for all his faults, dialed up the exact right blitz at the right time, got the pressure through. Darnold hit as he's thrown, and Levante David made an unreal play at the end there. The play to first. The reason why Cooper Kupp wasn't turned around is because Levante David bumped Cooper Kupp off the route in a legal manner. He gets to where the ball is. He keeps his eyes upfield when he didn't have to and is able to get the interception. That's just an unbelievable play by a future Hall of Famer, in my opinion. But all that being said, the defense gave up 5 straight touchdowns prior to that. And I'm willing to be forgiving on... To some degree, I'm willing to be forgiving because, Seattle's really good. I mean, Seattle, Jackson Smith-Njigba is an elite receiver. Sam Darnold is a really good quarterback. He had over 10 yards per attempt in this game. Some of that was just because the secondary doesn't have the horses there, right? But there are plays, too, where, the touchdown at the end of the half, because, again, Tampa Bay had held the Seahawks scoreless through, 28 minutes in this game. I guess 29 minutes. They started a drive with 2 minutes left, so 28 minutes. they held the Seahawks scoreless. The touchdown at the end of the half, you have Jackson Smith-Njigba going on against a depth corner at the end there. And I get it's zone coverage. You're kind of playing your scheme and letting the offense adjust. Zion McCollum should be on Jackson Smith-Njigba. He should be on that side of the field. I get that you can move guys around. Move Zion McCollum with him. That's your healthy corner. He's been your number one corner. There were too many snaps with Jackson Smith-Njigba not on the other guys. Cooper Kupp had a nice game because he's playing Tampa Bay, and he always has a nice game against Tampa Bay. But also, he's playing against depth players, and when he plays against depth players and wins, you expect that. He's a really good player. That happens against depth players. But don't put... When Smith-Njigba is beating your depth players, something's wrong there. So, didn't love that. They need to get healthy. They still don't rush the passer effectively at all. I do wonder if there is a deadline deal available. Again, Light doesn't historically love to do that, but I wonder if this is the year where maybe an edge rusher could be the difference in what breaks things through. Yaya Diaby and Hassan Reddick, again, I think are both players that you want to play some snaps, right? But they're just not. You need more there. You need at least another guy of that caliber to kind of allow them to all be fresh if they're going to do this. That's just it, and they don't get enough push on the inside without Kancey there now. So Vea will do his best, but you put two guys on him, so what can he do, right? This is not really a point, but that play, I thought we were going to lose this game, and this is the moment I thought we were going to lose this game when Sam Darnold throws the ball directly to Yaya Diaby. Diaby reads it perfectly. It bounces off his helmet, and then Kupp still catches it. I'm not mad that Diaby couldn't get the interception, but the fact that it ends up being a catch and a first down when it would have been 3rd down and 9 at the 2-yard line, Seattle probably just runs the ball and punts it out, and you're good. Seattle then on 4th down and 2, both Reddick and Diaby made contact with Darnold, couldn't stop him. And again, I don't get how someone gets wide open on that play. I do think that one of the issues with Todd Bowles' scheme as well is it's very complex. It requires a lot of communication. And when guys get hurt in the back end, these blown coverages seemingly happen so much. And that's the one critique. Again, I've turned a corner on Todd Bowles. I think he's a good head coach. I think he does a great job with the offense, which not a lot of defensive coaches do. I think that the game management specialist was good. That he clearly understands his weaknesses and gets help there, but not his best day. And to be honest, I think we got a little lucky with how Seattle called their offense to start the game. I think Seattle tried to go into the game with a normal, this is how we do things. We're going to continue to do stuff. They ran the ball very effectively, but they were kind of running the ball more up the middle in the first half. That Jalen Milroe play was just a disaster. The trick play with Jalen Milroe results in a fumble that kills the drive. I think if they just attacked the Buccaneers' depth corners earlier, they could have had success earlier, and maybe this is a different game. So I do think there was a little bit of luck there as well. Again, if these two teams play each other in January, it's going to look very differently because they're both going to have healthy corners, you would assume, right? So that's worth noting. But again, I probably would be a lot more annoyed if things went differently. The run game worked for Seattle. That I did not expect that, and that is a bit concerning. Tampa Bay's run offense still isn't doing much. And I don't know if it's going to do a lot until Gadecki gets back. Again, Seattle stops the run well as well. They're one of the best. These are two of the best run-stopping teams in the NFL. So give credit to Seattle for finding a way to still get some rushes going. But, that's fine. Emeka Egbuka is unbelievable, isn't he? And I had this thought of, you look at the best Buccaneers receivers in history, it's pretty easily Mike Evans is number 1 in every stat, and then Chris Godwin is number 2 in every stat, basically. There's a real chance the Buccaneers have the 3 best receivers in franchise history all playing on the roster right now with Godwin, Evans, and Egbuka. And this is why, I can't help but think this is the game the Buccaneers lose last year because they didn't have the depth last year. Godwin and Evans went down, and they weren't able to handle it. Well, now Evans is down. And Godwin's coming back from an injury, they can handle it because they drafted Egbuka. And even in the defense, it was able to get enough. Again, not a defense performance to hang their hat on, but they were able to make the play when they had to, which last year I feel like in these types of games, when they had the losing streak around this time of year, they didn't do that. So huge win for the Buccaneers, who I said I would honestly be fine with 3-2 in the next 5 games, starting with Seattle. Now, San Francisco, it's Detroit, so it doesn't get a lot easier. The Niners, even if Purdy doesn't play, I mean, they can still win games. They beat the Rams, who are a very good team. The Lions are the Lions. I know we beat them last year. No guarantee that it's a win this year, right? We saw that with Philadelphia, how that can go. Then it gets easier with the Saints and the Patriots. Now it just feels like, okay, 2-2 feels very expected, and 3-1 feels on the table in that stretch. And if you can go 3-1 and find yourself, 7-2, that's just a great start to the season. So 4-1's a great start to the season. It's a great season so far. Fun time. You are allowed to win games by more than a few points, Buccaneers. You can do that. That's allowed. I'm trying to figure out what their win totals are. So they won their first game by 3 points, then 1 point, and then 2 points. So they entered today with despite only a 6-point loss, a point differential of 0. They're now at a +3 point differential despite the despite the 4-1 record. That is very bizarre. +3 point differential in a situation where their one loss was by 6 points. It wasn't like they got blown out in this situation. So that's bizarre. But hey, point differential doesn't matter. It's wins that do. So huge. And again, first playing against Seattle, that could be a tiebreaker. That's important down the road too. Seattle's good. Seattle's very good. And this is not Seattle at their best, just like this isn't Tampa Bay at their best. Both of these teams are going to be better down the road. So to find a way to get a win, especially, I mean, Seattle had the ball with a minute left looking to win the game. And the way that game was going, I didn't even really celebrate the game-tying touchdown. I really didn't, because I was like, yeah, but there's time left. Time for Darnold. And I didn't even see. I thought the pass hit the ground on David's interception. It was weird visually on the broadcast, but I was happy once I found out what it was. So yeah, great stuff from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm trying to figure out if there's anything I missed. Still some wonky special team stuff with the kick returns. Got to clean that up. But also, hey, a good punt. A good punt. We're allowed to do that too. Not just, we were at the point where we were celebrating just getting the punt off. Now, pinned him at the 1. Didn't matter. Gave up a 99-yard drive. But it could have mattered if Diaby was able to knock that pass away. It's not Diaby's fault. It's just like, it was an unlucky play. But yeah, able to survive. Tough environment too. That Seattle crowd is something else, isn't it? I mean, the way they get loud. I know it's partially how the stadium is built, but like, anyone who was there, that must have been fun, because it probably wasn't fun if you were a Seahawks fan at the end, but the whole situation, how loud it gets, the environment, that was a cool game. Oh, and the uniforms. I got to talk about the uniforms. Best uniform matchup ever. That was awesome. I love that. That was really cool. So, yeah, hey, good win by the Buccaneers. Not a bad loss by the Seahawks. These two teams will be playing at some point in January against themselves or against other teams, but two very good teams. That's kind of what I think. Do you think the Panthers fans were sitting here watching this? At least they won, right? So they don't feel that bad. In fact, all 3 NFC South teams that played today won. But I think Panthers fans are watching this game like, oh, come on. We had both of these guys. Look at what they were doing. I don't know. Maybe. But at least Bryce Young had a nice day. They won the game, I should say. So, at least there's that. But, yeah, those are my thoughts. What are yours? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.